Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Monday morning. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Monday morning, guys. Quick word this morning. We shall see. I want to speak to you guys about oppression, about toiling, things along that line. Here's the thing. There was a shift that happened when the pandemic first came out. And even though so many people were against what was going on, not so much against what was going on, but it's almost that uncomfortable feeling of not knowing what God is doing, not being sure if you're going to have a job to go to, right? Just not knowing, just not knowing. But God was literally waking a lot of people up. And a lot of people caught the revelation that your job had you in bondage. You were toiling. You were doing something that you were miserable and unhappy on this job, but it pays the bills, right? Okay, cool. Do what you got to do. But, but a shift happened where a lot of people got the revelation like, wow, I'm sitting here struggling on being still. I'm struggling when God is trying to give me peace. Instead, I want to get back into that rat race that we were doing prior to the coronavirus and the pandemic. But what really God was doing was those who were willing to really tap in and just allow God to do what God was doing, and you caught certain revelations, but most importantly, you put those things into actions, you're seeing expansion along the way. But then you have a group of individuals who just their mindset was just, okay, hurry up coronavirus, hurry up pandemic, I just want to get back into the rat race. It's toiling. It's toiling. It's toiling. But for those who are called, the chosen individuals who are called, God, there's a specific purpose for you in upcoming seasons, right? Wealth transfers are happening. Witty ideas and inventions are happening. Certain things, certain ideas that God have given to you along the way. This could have been 12 years ago. Don't sit on that idea. Don't sit on that idea. Even if you feel like you don't have enough to do it or you don't have enough information, ask the Holy Spirit to guide you. Because God didn't give you that revelation or that witty idea intervention for no reason. Even if he gave it to you 12 years ago, he knew a season would come where you would have to catch that revelation. And a lot of people get revelations. A lot of people get witty ideas and inventions, but the issue is most people don't act on it. Again, religion will tell people to just pray, 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 pray. Prayer is great. Please, by all means, pray. But a lot of things, you have to put actions behind it, especially when it comes down to taking your territories, especially when it comes down to certain things that God is giving you a clear revelation about. And it may look like there's giants in the land, and they are. But if you caught a revelation about that thing is yours. But you got to fight for it. Things that your ancestors, things that your great grandmoms and like they put some things into actions, right? Well, with the limits that they could, but they started that foundation with prayer and faith. And so the torch was passed to many of you, but with limited mindsets for different reasons, of course, that was intentional, but with limited mindsets, there's this cap that many people feel like they just can't do it. They don't have what it takes. They're afraid, they're fearful because certain conditions of the minds that has happened from oppressors, etc. But you got to know what season you're in. You're in a season right now that whatever you touch turns to gold. But it has to be you going back to the original downloads. It has to be you moving within purpose and calling. Your wealth is in your purpose. But what happens, the enemy attack a lot of people in the area of confidence and self-esteem to keep you from your purpose. Because with purpose, you have to be confident in that thing to really do it effectively. But just start. Just start. If you start, the grace will come upon you, right? Not to say you won't be afraid, but you keep moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. This is why God is shutting the doors on a lot of people when it comes down to their jobs and their careers. But he's pushing you into purpose. But what happens, people tend to feel like that rug is being snatched, which sometimes it is. So they go backwards, and then they try to cling on to what God has taken. So, okay, God took one job, right? Okay, so let's just say that the job you're on now, I don't know, they're handing out pink slips and you happen to get one. But God told you several years ago that your ministry is gospel singing. I'm just saying, I don't even know. Gospel singing. Well, God has been convicting you and telling you over and over that even though you're shy, even though he's calling you higher, that you singing in church was not the limit, but you feel safe there. So in your mindset, you rather latch onto this job or find one or seeking one that's very similar to it because this one closed down, and you're comfortable with singing in your church choir every Sunday. But God is telling you, listen, I need you on stages because this world is crazy and I'm doing a shift right now. This is why you see, if you're tapped in, you will see how the celebrity world in Hollywood and all these things they're constantly sinking. There's a shift going on. So if God is saying to you, okay, your purpose is, I'm going to throw you on some stages that's going to be, you're going to be like the next major gospel singer. But if you're latch on to your gospel choir in your neighborhood of 10 people, which is fine, but that's not what it is this season. That worked for seasons prior, but now God is taking you higher because he needs you to reach more people. So allow God to start shifting you versus clinging on to the very thing that he's trying to pull. And that is one example. I don't know who's gospel singer up in here. Somebody must be about to be on BET Awards, honey. You're the next gospel singer. But that's just an example on what it could be in your life. So I just wanted to share that because, again, because so many of us are called to, there are some things that's going to be going on. A lot of you are going to start getting certain downloads about certain things God needs you to do. Please don't ignore it, because there were certain things I got just kind of dropped in my spirit, I don't know, over the last year or so. And I started it and then I kind of backed off from it, but God will keep bringing it back to you. That can look like storing up storehouses of food for months and years, and just not for you and your family, but for everybody. That can look like farming, learning more farming and gardening things. That can look like going to the gun range and start really, right? Things are going to get crazy, but God is going to start blessing those who are tapped in effectively with overflow, all type of different overflows, where you may not understand how that stuff is going to be dispersed, but you just got to get tapped in. And if you follow your convictions, God will tell you how to move, right? When everybody else is losing everything, right? These evil folks, when they start losing everything, you're not going to be losing anything. So you don't have to be fearful. Your job is to be prepared. If you're prepared, you're good, period. And chances are, those around you, sometimes even the one closest to you, right in your own household, they don't get it. They're not supposed to even get it. This is for you. So when they ask you, why are you buying another shed? Why are you buying another shed? Just do what you're supposed to do. Do what God is calling you to do. Some of you are going to be called to steward massive amounts of money. And in your mind, oh, I've always wanted to be a millionaire. Honey, that is not for you, right? That is not for you. Granted, you get to get a few things up out of there. God's going to be sure he takes care of you, but that's not for you. So you see how God can, when you're younger, he'll give you a certain revelation about how he's going to use you 40 years from now, 50 years from now. It's just like a download, but in your mind, you concocted the way it was going to turn out. Like the promise is, but it's not exactly what you thought. So God may have told you when you were 13 that you're going to be the first millionaire in your family, right? And so you lock in onto that, and you really really believe all this time. Now you're 75, right? Oh, God said I was going to be a millionaire when I was 13 years old. Well, yeah, you're going to be a millionaire, but it's not what you think. You thought you would just be a millionaire and you can just do crazy stuff where they get you a Bugatti and act a fool, right? Where God didn't release that million to you when you was 20 because he already knew he needed to grow you. So now you're 76, right? That $1 million may be released to you in some type of settlement, something just wealth transfers next year. You don't want no Bugatti at 76. You're good now. Your mindset have shifted. All you want is a nice little prairie house, right? All you want is peace. But you still got that $1 million. So now God kept his promise. You're a millionaire. He didn't lie. You're a millionaire. But now nothing is about, you got to take and you got to tap in. What do you need from this, God? I need you to build shelters. I need you to build underground bunkers. I need you to buy land, and I'll tell you what to do with it later, etc., 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 etc. You got to just tap in. God did not meant for us to be out here toiling. They push that stuff on us, and never mind. But either which way, tap in, guys, because we're in a season right now where, listen, you got to know what you carry. You're the head, not the tail. Point blank, period. Period. If I touch it, turns to gold. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.